Welcome back, everyone. This is Eric and Barry from Moss Pawn & Gun, and today we have another gun gripe video for you. Today we're going to be talking about the 113th Congress and their vote on motion to proceed on S-649, which is essentially a Senate bill that is being proposed, and it's essentially the Safe Schools Act of 2013 that's introduced by Senator Harry Reid out of Nevada, Democrat out of Nevada, on March 21st of 2013. What's essentially happened with this legislation, or well, it's not really legislation yet, but this potential bill that they're wanting to bring into the Senate to vote on is that, essentially what's happened now, we've got 16 Republicans that have jumped ship or basically jumped on board with this potential legislation and have voted for it to essentially move it forward for a vote.
Right.
So, Barry, what do you think about all this?
Well, it's all about a universal background check, but nobody really knows what that means. Now, we're in our mind, we're thinking that if your neighbor wanted to buy your deer rifle, you have to go through a dealer and fill out a 4473, whoever's buying the gun, and the gun would have that would be the last legal transferee. Mm-hmm. Now, how many criminals are going to do that? Zero. Now, what will happen, you go to a gun show, the gun show loophole that everybody talks about is you go to a gun show and a guy's walking around with an AR-15, he's a private citizen, you're a private citizen, you ask him, you want to sell your gun? Yeah, $1,000. Okay, you give him the money, you get the gun, and you walk out of there. That is the gun show loophole. Mm-hmm. The anti-gunners try to make people think that if we go to a gun show as an FFL dealer, we can just hand out guns like that. No, we have to go through the same procedure. So here you are at a gun show that lasts Saturday and Sunday. You find a guy on Sunday, you want to buy his gun, you have to find a dealer, fill out a 4473, he does, the buyer, and then he gets delayed for 3 days. Then what? Then what happens? Now, one of our subscribers brought this up too. Under Georgia law, you don't have to do a background check if you have a pistol permit. So you go to the show, you find a guy with an AR, you give him the money, he says, well, I've got a pistol permit, and you got a pistol permit. We don't have to do a background check. Are they going to regulate that? Or, there's too much going on with this that doesn't meet the eye and doesn't make any sense. Okay, you get Bloomberg in New York. He sends agents down here like he did trying to bust pawn shops. Remember with that sting they tried to do about straw sales?
Yeah, with Jay Wallace over at Venture Outdoors. And
so you go to a gun show and here you got an AR for sale, and here comes this farmer-looking fella. How much you want for your AR? $1,000. Mm-hmm. Okay. Do we really have to do this background check? Well, no. You get the cuffs slapped on you because you just tried to make an illegal transfer of a gun, and it will probably be a felony. Now you can't even own a gun. This bill is very, very dangerous. Very dangerous.
Well, part of the problem, Barry, is that even the people that are proposing this legislation don't know what's in the legislation. No. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to enforce it. All they know is they're reacting with a ton of emotion instead of logic. And, of course, they're going to try to sweep this under the rug and do everything they can. Both of our Republican senators in Georgia voted yay on this. So what I can urge you all to do is to write all of your senators and make sure they understand what your views are. For many of us, we are one-issue voters. And I'm sorry, but when it comes to gun rights, I am a one-issue voter. Now, I judge someone by their actions and what they do more than what they say they're going to do. And I think that we see that Johnny Isakson and Saxby Chambliss in Georgia here have shown us what mold they are cut from. And I hope that the people will vote accordingly, the next time elections come around. Now, the big problem with this thing is that, universal background checks just aren't going to work. Like Colin Noor mentioned in his video about, gun show loophole. I mean, basically just does not exist. If you were a dealer at a gun show, you perform a background check. Okay, now granted, yes, individuals can sell to each other at a gun show, or for that matter, anywhere else. I mean, what's to stop an individual from getting on like, Georgia Outdoor Life or some of those websites where you go to the classified ads and put things on there to sell to people. A face-to-face transaction between people of the state is not illegal in most states. Some states, of course, they have FOID cards and other things like that, certain regs that are state level that they have to adhere to. Here in Georgia, there's no issue with an individual face-to-face gun purchase of people. Now, a bill of sale generally is preferred. I mean, obviously that's to cover yourself just like anything else. This legislation is very dangerous. And, you know, I will admit, Barry, that in some of the gun gripes, you know, we've kind of played it off like, you know, it may not be as big of a deal, or maybe like the gun ban's dead. And I want to say right now, people, that if I have come across as making it sound like we're trying to perpetuate fear or to perpetuate buying in any way, I mean, it was definitely not our intention. The thing is, we just want to make sure people are informed of what's going on. You know, like when we did the 5 guns to buy before ban, those of you that know that video, you should know that that particular video was made before any of this crap ever went down the line. At that point, it was a theoretical, what would you buy if a ban were in the works? At the time, no such ban was in the works. So that video, you know, was right on time.
That was a very, very timely video.
It was.
But like Eric said, and I've said before, I've lived a long time, and I could see what was coming. And I see what's coming with this, and I'll tell you again, too, they're going to go after your big mags again, too. They're not going to give up on that. This is a baby step in the direction they want to go. Now, if they get this passed, it has no effect on crime whatsoever. They already know that, you know that, I know that, they know that. This is just a baby step in their direction that they want to take this country. Now, I've always said, what good is gun control if there's nothing controlling private sales? Well, this is what this is. This is nothing but backdoor gun registration.
Right, Barry, but how, tell me this, how in the world are they going to enforce something like this unless guns are registered?
They can't enforce it.
If you don't have control over every single gun that's out there, how are you going to enforce this? Now, you know, everybody says, well, yeah, universal background checks are a good idea. It weeds certain people out. We already have background checks.
We already have a system in place that keeps criminals from buying guns. That's a 4473. But what criminal is going to go to fill out a 4473?
Right.
None of them.
So, you know, you cannot, again, and it goes back to the fact that you cannot regulate morality.
Right.
You can't force someone to be good. You can't force someone to do right. You can't force someone to obey the law. Just because some piece of paper says you have to do something doesn't mean that someone's just or is going to follow that law. So what I urge all of you to do is contact your senators and take the time to write them, email them, and people, this is a very important fight. You know, an overwhelming majority of people right now support guns. Don't let the media lie to you, and don't let the media mislead you. The average American citizen wants to be a gun owner. Okay, I promise you that. The average American gun owner is a law-abiding person. They take care of their neighbors, they work hard, they play hard, they pay their fair share, and they're people that would defend you in any situation. The average gun owner in this country is a very squared-away person. I mean, make no mistake. So, you know, we have to be vigilant, people. We really do.
We'll make a few more predictions, or I will. If this bill passes, gun thefts will skyrocket. It's always easy for a criminal. A criminal's not going to get the gun except by, there's only 2 ways to get one if he has to go through a background check. He's going to steal it, or he's going to buy it on the black market. There's going to be a tremendous market for black market for guns, and gun thefts are going to skyrocket.
What this is actually going to do is perpetuate, you know, gun violence and gun thievery, and it's just a bad idea. People, registration, you know, universal background checks, it's just all a giant, you know, plan of this scheme to take your guns. And that's just the bottom line. And we hate to be fear mongers. We're not trying to cause fear amongst you people, and that's not what we're here to do. That's not why we make these videos. We make these videos because we like engaging with our subscribers. We like to hear what you guys have to think, and we care about you guys. I mean, we care about the gun industry, the gun community, and the gun group that we have here on YouTube. I mean, we've got like a little family of gun people here. So we like to share our views. I mean, that's what these videos are about.
Well, what is so misleading about this bill, it's called the Safe Communities, Safe School Act of 2013. Just like the crime bill of 1994, it didn't have any effect on crime, and this is not going to make schools or communities any safer.
That's right.
We already know that. We already know that, but they're going to jam this down our throat if they can.
Right.
So write your senators and complain.
Right, and all they do is they take something and they put it in a nice, convenient-looking little package that looks convenient and looks nice on paper, to where some lawmaker or some senator or congressman is just going to go, yep, looks good, safe schools, sure, I agree with safe schools, and sign off slide it on the way and go to the golf course.
Well, the
People,
thing,
we can't let them do that. We have to stay on them.
but see, they also name it this way because if you oppose this, obviously you don't want schools to be safer and you don't want your community to be safer. This is everybody needs to oppose this. This is bull. You know.
Well, we're going to end this video. We appreciate you guys watching, but I just want to leave you with a thought that, you know, you are your brother's keeper. And at the end of the day, it is your responsibility to take care of the people around you, and you should expect the same from them. We have to demand accountability from each other and from the people around us, our elected officials. I mean, we all have a responsibility to each other. And, you know, that's what gun ownership is about, is us, you know, protecting our rights, protecting the rights of others, and protecting people that are too weak to protect themselves. And if you allow a government to take that away from you, to take that responsibility away from you, to regulate it away from you, you're losing a great part of what it means to be an American. And I think strongly that gun ownership is a very large part of what makes us great. And, you know, it's a cornerstone of a safe society.
It is, it is. It's liberty's teeth. Without those teeth, you got no chance.
It's liberty's muscle. I mean, and that's the bottom line.
Well,
you know,
I think you know, that everybody needs to oppose this thing. Call your congressman, phone them, whatever you need to do. Ring their phones off the hook, whatever you have to do. But I'm afraid they're going to ram this down our throats. And there's just too many turncoats, politicians nowadays that vote. They vote to protect their own behind.
they do.
So they're not voting for the people, not serving the people anymore. They're serving themselves.
They're self-serving.
And there's too many self-servers in Washington and everywhere else. So we got to be on the lookout for that.
We do. And people, we appreciate you watching today. Next week's Gun Gripe is going to be a really good one. You guys are going to enjoy it. And thank you for watching this evening.
Y'all have a good evening now.